Hi.
Hello. Is that Sandra? Did I hear you calling over the water, Sandra?
You did. I mean, what else can you say? Hi, Sean. How are you?
I'm very good, Sandra. How are you?
Doing great. And now that we have that out of the way, welcome to 20 and Gone. I'm Sandra Watson with the ABCs of Google Plus and many other things too. And Sean, you want to just say hi and what you're doing?
First of all, I was going to just explain to everyone the magical mystery of the window. Look at that. What an amazing thing. I can put my hand behind the window. But
Oh, could you
um,
do that again? I didn't have you pinned. Now you're there.
oh, there we go. Look, everybody. One of my demonstrations of mind power. But yeah, it's Sean Mahon of Successfully Social. And actually, would it be the right time? We've only got 20 minutes just to say something about the stream and what we're going to do about the comment stream. Because we had a bit of
Please.
a disaster last week, didn't we? And thankfully, the comment stream is working. And so, a few quick shout outs. Tanya, really good to see you. Loyal fan, Tanya, we love it. 20 minutes for your noggin to know you're late and probably full. So if I scarf now, then when this fab show ends, I'll know how full I feel. So thanks for that. But what we're going to do is we're not going to take all the comments now. We're going to take them at the end, which is a bit quirky, but I think that's what you were suggesting as well, Sandra, wasn't it?
Yes, we want to get right into our conversation. So we're going to be listening to you guys, but we're just not going to be participating in the stream until the end.
Until
So,
the end. But a quick shout out to Tony, though. That being said, hi Tony, how you doing? Thumbs up to Tony.
hi, Tony. Okay, what Sean and I decided to talk about in our pre-show conversation was holidays and events. Valentine is coming up, Valentine's Day, and we decided that that would be a good topic for us to converse. So here we go. We're just going to walk right into it, and we're going to talk about it. Sean, I'm a little concerned. I've been reading some things, and one of the things that I've noticed is I'm wondering, are we really behind the old way of marketing and pushing things to the market? When I look at the way events, let's just talk about Valentine's Day right now because you and I, okay, Sean, what do you think about that? That's my point. Think about through this. For instance, we're not supposed to be pushing our message. We're supposed to be letting them tell us, our audience, tell us what they want. However, if we participate in events like a Valentine's Day and we make our message around that, are we in essence really pushing a message that maybe people aren't even interested or want to hear? Or is the whole world at large interested in Valentine's Day and our message about it?
Well, I mean, firstly, Sandra, I've got to say I'm very upset that you haven't sent me flowers yet. So that's the first thing I'm going to say. But leaving that aside, I think what we were saying in the green room was that there are certain seasons and events that are often pennies from heaven, manna from heaven for marketers, aren't they? Because you can hang a message around those events and make it topical and make it seem relevant. But the thing is it us as marketers, if we are marketers, imposing that on people and assuming that they want to have a Valentine's oriented post, or do people really want that? And then the other part of the debate is if we do it, there are different ways we can do it. We can do it heavy-handedly, or we can do it with a bit of humour. So, I mean, where do you stand on all of that, Sandra?
I okay, let's see here. Where do I stand? I have several stances on it.
You do.
You know, for me, I just get tired of the commercialization of all of it, and always have been like that. I don't like for people to tell me how I should feel about any one thing, whether it be the holidays in December, November, October, September. I mean, there's something for every month that I'm supposed to feel something very powerful, and I have a problem with that. And then I look at, we talk about social media, we're supposed to be, talking to our audience about things that they want. All right, do they want to hear me talk about chocolates and roses and flowers? Is that something that even seems normal for me? And if it is, how would I do that? And do I have to put it around a message for that? I feel like we're still pushing and we're still commercializing using social media, even though we talk about, no, don't push the product all the time, don't push things. And I still feel that we're in an era of pushing, like I'm trying to create an emotion in you. And we both know that that's how we do content marketing, is by creating emotion, making that emotion happen. So am I confused in it? Am I the one that needs help because I'm looking at it wrong? Or am I looking at it right? And the world at large is still not willing to change in the way we approach marketing and our conversation at large.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've got, as I always do, I've got a few different views, because I don't necessarily. I'm going to play devil's advocate for the sake of the conversation. I'm not necessarily saying that I agree with everything I'm about to say, but it just makes the conversation quite interesting. But if people are generating engagement, rapport, monetizing things, having a measure of success, one could assume that's because the audience likes the message that's going out there, and therefore it validates that message. And if that message is couched in images and I mean, let's take Tanya, for example, with the brilliant images that she does. And Tanya, I've seen images that fit in with different seasons very nicely, but they're still Tanya's images, aren't they? They're not. You wouldn't say they were somebody else's. So Tanya's an example of somebody who's using seasonality, who's using trends in a good and congruent way. I think what irritates me is when people jump on a bandwagon, but you don't really believe it's them truly speaking. And that happens from the smallest of businesses to huge multinationals that will pounce on something and they'll turn it into a marketing message, if we are talking about marketing, but it could be any social communication, and it's just false. And that's, for me, when it goes horribly, horribly wrong, and I kind of get alienated and would switch off from that person or that corporation. So is that kind of where you're going with this, Sandra, or are you in a very different direction? Oh, and Kerry's just saying that she can only see me, which is fine for me, but she's not seeing your lovely face, Sandra, I don't think.
And Kerry, that was my issue. I forgot to put me on screen. I was so engrossed in what I was saying that I just forgot. And that's part of what it should be, is the passion, I guess. You asked me if that's the way that I was thinking, and I'm thinking that way, but I think sometimes that the way you talked about it is not the way I look at it. I think that we're taking an event every month, or how often we do it, and we're making that into something so that people will want to listen to what we have to say. I'm wondering, should our message, do we have to have those props to tell our message? Maybe that's part of it. No. To me, it looks like a prop, and it looks like I'm using your emotional senses, Sean, to create you to do something. So is that, again, then not push marketing? If I'm causing you, because of what I'm using, which is the prop, to make you respond, isn't that what we have criticized all of these months and years on social media, is that we are now in a new era of marketing where we don't push? But aren't we still doing that? And I think we are.
Yeah, I mean, this is flying contrary to what we said we do about the comments, but if you'll forgive me for a moment, I will just put up something very briefly from Cheryl. Why isn't it coming up? Is it up? Oops. Is it up, or is it?
It's on the screen.
Who knows? Who knows? It's not on my screen, so I can't read it. It's miraculously vanished. Can you see it and read it? Because I can't read it.
Let me just explain something really quick. There's only two of us on here, so you're always going to see me unless you blue box yourself down there. I have you blue box. That is on the screen for everybody to see.
Cool. Right, and I can't, except for me, who can't read it.
Okay, do you want me to read it for you?
Oh, it's come up, but let's hear your beautiful voice. Let's hear your beautiful voice, Sandra.
Cheryl Deuce says, I think if it's natural for you to enjoy Valentine's Day, or any holiday for that matter, then go for it. If you naturally feel like Sandra Watson and being forced to feel, then don't. What is natural?
Yeah, and the reason I pulled that up is it's a hell of a question, isn't it? What is natural? And now, in my natural way, I'm going to demonstrate that I can't naturally get the comment back off for some very bizarre reasons. So this is natural, by the way, guys. This is naturally Sean, a totally different time of the day, not having had his coffee. But
Very good. You're
excuse me.
back. You're back,
Oh, God,
Sean.
it's pretty fun. Yeah, why is that? I'm feeling slightly embarrassed. Um, but yeah, is it your question was, is it push? Are we imposing something on people? And you could argue that people are only going to come to streams and messages if they feel a natural resonance. But at the same time, just like you can see two different actors with the same set of words and the same script interpret something totally different. One actor's great, one actor isn't. Then, do we always need to do it? No. Are the best communicators in the world always jumping on the different holiday seasons and the different emotional messages and talking about in the UK the royal family and talking in the States about your celebrities and things like that? No, they're not necessarily. So maybe it's just about that marketer or that person communicating, just not forcing the issue. Because for me, it's about when you force something and you try to do it in a manipulative way, there's something about it that doesn't feel right to me, and I don't like it. But when you do it in an authentic way, is there anything wrong with it? I don't know. I mean, you and I have collaborated on a Valentine's Day series of videos, and you did some brilliant editing. But they felt very natural, didn't they, the ones that we did with Susan Winter?
Definitely, I thought they were really good. It was a nice series, and it wasn't pushing anything as far as a response or eliciting an emotion out of anyone. It was, if you're interested in this is a really good series. One of the other things is, how often do we, after the end of the fall, everybody says, "I'm so glad all that stuff's over. I got so sick of hearing it. I'm tired of it." Is that not similar to what we're talking about in a way, Sean? Because it's like everybody gets on the bandwagon and has to do something with it. I mean, I shared a couple of Valentine's posts because I think that Valentine's Day brings up the question of love, and there was a video that I shared today because I thought it makes us look at it throughout the year, not just for this month or this week or this event or whatever. Shouldn't we be thinking about some of these things otherwise? What would happen, Sean, if you posted something about love and candies and red roses and everything that had to do with Valentine's Day during St. Patrick's Day? I mean, it would be like, somehow or another, the world at large would say, wait a minute, something's out of kilter here. It doesn't make sense. Should that be what is going on? Is it because as marketers we have made the world what it is? And then we go back and say, okay, what we share is what creates the world, the universe that we live in. Boy, then that says, yes, we are doing a lot, in my opinion, push marketing and push conversation to make people believe a certain way.
Yeah, it's so difficult to unpick this, isn't it? Because we can't help but be a function of what's going on around us. I'm Sean, you're Sandra, and at the same time, we're absorbing 1,000,001 messages from around us that are out there in the world every day, and some of them resonate with us and some don't, but some of them will pass on in our communication, whatever they may be, just because you don't function in a bubble. You are surrounded by other things. So if I pass on in my communication something about Valentine's or something about the royal family, royal family, I'm not a huge fan, but that isn't wrong, is it, if it's done in the right way? I'm going to read something. In the interest of time, I'm going to read a couple of comments, if that's okay with you, Sandra, rather than pull them up. Tony makes a really good point. Oh, what the hell? I'm going to contradict myself and pull it up. Just because I can. Well, I can't actually. That's the whole point. Tony says, to me, it's all about the stories that we tell. Incorporating the current holidays or events into marketing, social media, and also monetizing that is what seems good, healthy, and normal to me. Now, I know Tony does some really brilliant video both in Vegas and different parts of the States that he travels, and also out in Thailand. And I don't look at Tony's work and think, wow, you know, I'm being foisted with something I don't want to see. I find that as part of Tony's brand, and I really love that. So Tony goes on to say, stories can be someone's interpretation that either seems real or seems like they're full of bullshit. And I kind of agree with Tony. It's about how you do it. You know, Tony wouldn't knock us on the head with it, and therefore it's good and it's enjoyable. And if it wasn't, we don't have to look at Tony's stuff, but it happens to be good. But if someone's forcing it, it's awful, isn't it? So maybe it's about absorbing what's going on around us, filtering that through our own beliefs and values, and then you know, moving forward. Sandra scratching her chin in that look I'm coming to realize means she's thinking deeply.
I'm thinking deeply, and I think that one of the things that I like about this subject is that we all are going to interpret it from the point of view that we have experienced life and what we're thinking at the time. And it's not relevant that we agree or disagree or anything. It's just that we think and that we share what we're thinking. I think that's really important. There are going to be a couple of comments in the stream that, you know, make us look at how we interpret something. So with that being said now, Sean, you know what I'm going to do here.
I do. I'm terrified, actually, Sandra, if you don't mind me saying. Time to twitch.
And everybody, you'll have to, this is the weirdest thing today. The overlays, none of them are coming up right for me. So just look at the clock. I'm taking it off, but we're all getting close to being gone. We're at the 3-minute mark. So if there's anything else that you want to bring up, Sean, as far as any comments, now's the time to do it.
Well, I think there have been some great comments. And guys, and Tony, I know you came in a bit later, but what we're trying to do is be a little judicious with the comments, not because we don't want to share them, but we've only got the 20 minutes. But having been invited, some lovely comments again from Tanya. I always want to start singing Tanya's comments for some reason. I feel if I could sing, I'd sing this one for sure, which is I was born on the bandwagon, giddy up. It sounds like to the tune of Rhinestone Cowboy. I'm sure it would be a bestseller immediately. And you can tell I'm snorting caffeine directly. Oh, that's the alarm. My God. Okay.
Oh wait, I didn't even blue box it. There you go, guys.
Oh my gosh. It's all going. It's all mayhem here. The 20 minutes is too testing for verbose Mr. Mahon. Sandra, what have we got? We got a minute, have we?
We have probably about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So your conclusion?
My conclusion is we've had some great comments and an interesting debate, and for me, the side of the fence I sit on is that it's not necessarily wrong to use all of these elements in the real world because we live in the real world. But what is much more attractive to me, and Tony said it very well, is that if we tell our stories, whether they're just social or whether they're marketing oriented, with I hate using the word authenticity, I overuse it, but if we tell the stories with a real sense of who we are and they fit with our vision and our values and who we are, otherwise they're manipulative. And your conclusion, Sandra, what would it be?
My conclusion is that we're still doing push marketing.
So we agree to disagree then.
Well, and is that, I mean, are we disagreeing? I mean, I'd have to say, is that a disagreement? No, it's just my point of view. I think that we are not as far away from the old way of marketing that everybody thinks that we have left. I think we're still in it. We're just not recognizing it for what it is. And it's okay. I don't say that's bad or good. No, I just think that we have to look at it for what it is and not try to make people think that, oh my gosh, we're someplace else that we're not maybe. That's just, you know, that's just my opinion of it. That's it. And you and I, we share our opinions all the time, and we tend to...
We are agreeing, actually. And I think one thing we haven't captured because of the time is originality. And one thing that we both agreed in the green room beforehand is that never lose the originality element. If you feel compelled to follow the crowds just because that's the thing that's out there and you have to do it in your head, then you might lose some of that originality. So that's what you were saying earlier, Sandra, wasn't it?
It is, and we are at 20, Sean, and we are gone.
Gone. Bye-bye.